We have another man over here. Sir, what's your name? What's your question?
Jim Baxter from Moncton. My question is, I had an older friend of mine when I first started curling a little bit in St. John that was a member at the Town of Mount Royal Curling Club. He indicated that you boys on one of your years on your way overseas to curl in the Worlds threw a few rocks in there and used to make a little bit of extra money betting club members that they could not throw a rock and have it end up in the house. You boys would either sweep it through or know enough to drop off it and let it die. I often wondered if there's any truth in that story.
You guys were swindling local curling clubs for money? Well, isn't Ernie a pool shark? This is kind of like working in your leg.
The Campbell family from Avonlea were the ones that started that, and it's absolutely true.
Good for you guys.
If you got on certain ice, now if you got on quite heavy ice, that may not happen. You may not be able to take it through or leave it short, but on the keen ice, you can take a rock 12, 14 feet with a broom. So if they want to leave it short or take it through, they could.
I think Ernie, on the ice they're playing on out here today, that would certainly apply, for sure. Yeah.
I agree with Ron. On the ice they play today, for sure.
Okay, let's go back in the audience. Who has a question for the Richardsons or Northcotts? Just put your hands up in the air. Okay, there it is. Hold on. I know I missed somebody down here. Okay, let's just zip through here. Stand up there for a second there, sir. And coming in right behind you. There you go. What is your name, my friend, and what's your question?
Dwayne Davis from Arcola, Saskatchewan. And it's nice to see the Richardson family. I live in Benson, just 12 miles south of Stoughton now. And they got a picture of the Richardsons when they were winning the Brier stuff. And my question kind of got answered. I was wondering, what do you think about the strategy and the three-guard rule? And I'm like Sam, the sticks help keep the curling clubs alive because the seniors are a big part of the curling clubs today.
I got a question though. What do you think is the biggest advancement then in curling over the last year since you guys started back in the 50s and 60s? What is the biggest advancement that you have seen that has pushed curling into a good direction? Is there anything that sticks out in your mind right off the bat? That what? Sorry?
Women are part of it.
That women are a part of it. Okay. You should see how this woman's dressed. First of all, is what you should do. Like some people think it's the three-guard rule that helped the game a little bit advance, a little bit better. What do you feel? Some people say the ice conditions.
Well, just let me make a couple of comments here. First of all, since we were all playing, the five guys sitting here at this table, the biggest change in curling in my mind is ice conditions. Nowadays, and for the last quite a few years, the curlers are almost playing every game on perfect ice. And from one end to the other and from each side to the other, ice is perfect. They get to practice on it before they play, so they know exactly what it is, which is a huge advantage. Now, I know here, because of the humidity and warm weather, the first day or two they had a little bit of a hiccup, but, I mean, it was nothing compared to ice conditions that we played in. The five guys here, we played in Charlottetown in 1964. I think they finished putting the ice in the night before we started the competition. And before we got halfway through a 12-man game the next day, there's water on the ice. And my front end would come into the house sweeping a rock. My glasses would look like I was in a rainstorm. So you can imagine how much sweeping helped. It didn't do any good. But you're out there, and I mean, that's what you do, is you get into it and you try to do it. So thank goodness that those kind of conditions are gone now, and the ice they play on is fabulous. I think that's a great thing. And like Sam said, the new rules with the four-guard, with ice got so straight, you were getting games that were 2-1. A lot of games 1-0. Guys get hit. You won the toss the first end. You just blank every end until 10 and throw one in the forefoot. You win the game, 1-0. Well, it was nothing for spectators, and it really wasn't a lot of fun for the players either. So for sure, the rule change there, in my opinion, is good. One thing I'd like to say, and I say that when I ever get a chance, they're talking about going to 8-end games like they're doing on that big cash tour they have now, World Curling Tour, whatever it is, and I just don't think 8 ends is a real curling game. I like 10, and I think we should stay there.
I agree with that.
Well, you know, I think a lot of people agree with that respect whatsoever. That we are, every time we do this, and it comes up in most of the conversations for Up Close and Personal, Dad, everybody as a spectator always want to see it stay at 10. They don't want to see it go down to 8. And I'm glad to see that you reiterate that. You back it up wholeheartedly.
But
thank you very much.
Maybe I could add something to that.
Sure.
The trouble is, the Olympic Committee, because of TV, that's who's suggesting 8 ends. And they're the ones that put all the money in the pool for the World Curling Federation. So they have a lot to say. I just hope that they can be talked out of doing that, because I completely agree with Ron, what Ron has said. But they do help keep the World Federation, Curling Federation, alive with all the money they put into it.
Excellent. Let's do that. All right, one more question. Okay, and then we'll have to wrap it up because we have to get ready for the next draw coming up. Okay, what's your name, miss, and what's your question?
My name is Arlene Richardson, and my home is Hawaii. I'm Wes's wife. But
really, let's have a talk about this.
no, this is to tell you what wonderful men these men are. Wes has had some health problems just recently, and we weren't sure we were going to get here, but we made the arrangements, we were on our way, and we had many delays. You know what the airlines are like. But these 3 men, Ernie and Arnold and Sam, were so caring. They thought because we were late that something had happened to Wes. They were waiting for us in the hotel that afternoon. Of course, we didn't arrive on time. And I just want you to know that they've spent a lot of time curling, and they're still good friends, and they are just wonderful people. Thank you.
And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, will you please give them a big round of applause for curling royalty, the Richardsons, Ernie, Arnold, Sam, Wes, and good friend, Mr. Ron Northcott.